Yeah. Amin. Amin.
Yes, hello Rishad, how are
Hello.
you?
Amin.
Hello
Long time
brother,
no
how are
see.
you?
So nice to see you on the call.
Me too, me too. Hayat told me about this call, and if you
Ah,
don't mind, I would like to listen to you.
please do, please do. Amin
Thank
is
you very much.
our celebrity conductor. So nice to see you.
Thank you very much. Oh, Rishad helped me so much, so much. Those 2 last years, it was a hard time for me, but he gave me opportunity to understand very well the many things, and everything is okay now. So thank you, brother Rishad. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. I mean, you took
Thank you.
so much, and you took it. Many people don't take it, and you took it. So thank you for being the one that took what I had to say and implemented it. And of course, life will be life, but you did really well. So congratulations, not on your achievements out there, but your growth within through very difficult times. I think successful people who just have constant success are very boring people. They don't
Thank
inspire
you.
me at all. They're not
Yeah.
interesting at all. But I think it's
You
people.
helped me. You helped me so much, really, and you know exactly how you help, not just words like that. You know exactly. You are really a conductor,
I
a maestro
appreciate.
in your job.
Thank
صدق
you,
والله.
thank you, thank you. I
Thank you.
mean,
شكرا.
yeah, you're welcome. Stay tuned. I mean, and I hope you think from it. It's been a while that a few people joining in. That's nice. We just have who else did we have now joining? We have yeah,
Sergio is here.
Sergio. Sergio is here. Admit Hayat is coming. Anissa, nice to see you, Anissa.
Hello, Anissa.
Yes.
It's
Hello, hello.
everyone's embracing the new year with some new excitement. It's good to see. Um, yeah, and we have our musical group, which is growing, which I absolutely adore because life is music, and I've been soaking into music lately. So I've been enjoying that very much, experiencing all these new artists and composers, which I never knew about. And I didn't think they would be any good, but I've been finding people out there that are composing new music that is so beautiful. Hayat, welcome, Hayat.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
Haya.
How are you?
Good, Hayat.
Hi.
So good to see you, Hayat.
Great to see you too. Sorry, I can't put the camera on.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Anissa, welcome, Anissa.
Hi there, Rashad.
How are you?
I'm good and you? You've been on my mind and I've been wanting to reach out and it's like, I'm going to get on this call today. That's reaching
Yeah,
out.
nice to see. Nice to see such a good turnout. It's nice to see all my regular Zen family, the very closest of closest. So good to see you all. I'm looking at this other screen here. We got load shedding in a few minutes, Anissa, so I'll switch to another phone, as you know. Sergio, how are you, Sergio? My dear
Oh,
friend,
I see the hard questions first, eh?
Sergio. Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to ask you the meaning of life. I'd start with how are you?
I think I could answer the meaning of life easier than that. No, I'm fine. Yeah. I sent you a clip of this guy, Bill Bailey, how he has this self-deprecating, how the English have this, self-deprecating thing, say, can't complain,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's basically, can't
Yeah,
complain.
the British have exported that worldwide. I mean, it's the whole thing is, and it's meant to take on some kind of positive connotation. Like, wow, that's so great of you that you don't want to complain today. So
That's,
it's so true. So good to see you, Sergio.
thank you.
Um, been really good to see all of you, and I'm sure you guys had a interesting year. I know my year was full of, I wouldn't call it excitement, but daring adventure without me having to set foot on the road of adventure. Adventure found me, and I had to meet up to it. So I think I've done all right, and I'm very proud of myself for being so aware and present through a challenging year. And yeah, I wouldn't say it's been fun or enjoyable or any of those nice terms that coaches like to use. And empowered and enlightened and so much better for it and all the rest of it, because I think I like to keep things real in my perception and my understanding. So it was a challenge and it was growth. And I love the fact that I was challenged, because then I can be so much more empathetic in ways that can support my friends and my clients. When I say empathy, doesn't mean I feel your pain. When I say empathy, it means I can understand that level of awareness to take you out of that level of awareness. So some people think that the more pain you feel, the more useful you are to humanity. I tend to disagree with that statement, but it can have some validity as well. Either way, tell me what's been happening. Ronald, let's start with our uncle, because we missed you a lot. Ronald, tell us something
Oh,
of your year.
thank you, Rashad. And it's good to see you and the Zen family again. I've been spending time with my grandchildren and getting out of the house. I had a special blessing yesterday.
I can't hear you. Can you
How
guys
about
hear
now?
Ronald? Yeah. Now we can. Yeah.
Can
I
you hear
couldn't
me
hear you.
now? Okay. I saw there were young students in my groups years ago.
Hmm.
Well, they invited me to lunch yesterday, and they're now attending college and doing very, very well in technology, engineering, data, uh, data mining, Stanford internships, all sorts of things. And those were young boys. Their parents had thanked me for investing in their lives. So, seeing all of you, I know you're investing in people's lives, and you'll be blessed if you live long enough to hear the results of the seeds that you have sown into the lives of others. That's my greatest, most recent blessing, along with family. So, thank you.
That's beautiful, Ronald. Thank you for sharing that. An interesting study that was done came to mind on dopamine. We are the only species on the planet. Obviously, we don't know that other animals have consciousness or not, but we are the only species on the planet that can maintain a level of dopamine. Is the anticipation chemical, as you all know. It's not the reward chemical. It's the anticipation of reward. I'm sure you've seen all my posts about that. And again, we're not talking specifically about dopamine, but basically, when we have a project, when we have a task, we feel alive, because we're doing something for someone else or something for ourselves, because something we don't have, we're moving towards. That's a surge of, I can't wait to get that. A simple example is, if you're hungry and you're starving and you're waiting for that next meal, before you eat that next meal, your dopamine is surging. Now, what's very interesting about human beings is that we can keep our dopamine surging, not for the meal within our lifetime, but for a meal that others will taste that we won't participate in. We're the only species on the planet that can do that. So we can say, I am doing this for my future generations. And that is enough to keep your drive and your hunger for living longer. Nobody else can do that. So it's very interesting. So when people say, when you build a church, uh, or a place of worship, knowing that you won't even be here because you'll be dead by the time construction is finished. And I think in this world of instant gratification, where we want to see our results right now, of course, they're very rewarding to see that. Funny enough, once you see the reward, it's not as useful as, I don't know what will happen, but I'm investing this into future generations. And I think something greater arises within you, because everything we do is for ourselves and for the now, even though we claim it's for other people. Ultimately, we want other people to say, well done, good job, you did well, you got the money, you got the pretty girl or the boy, you got the big house, you got the yacht. And that's adolescent view on reality. And the wider view is, I don't know if you guys seen My Octopus Teacher, but if you haven't, My Octopus Teacher is on Netflix. It's a beautiful thing that I decided to watch last night. And there was a scene at the end of the movie where this man spent a year following this octopus and seeing all the most amazing experiences of the octopus and getting really attached to this female octopus. And then at the end, you see the female octopus lying there after having mated, delivering all these eggs. And then you see the life going out of her as she slowly dies away. And in the process, gives birth to hundreds of thousands of eggs. Now, that drive is programmed within them. And you could say that's dopamine, but it's a little different to the human anticipation chemical, because we are aware of anticipating something. And someone made the remark and said it was so tragic and it was so sad. And I said, that's the most beautiful thing, because we are here to give. We're not here to take. I think we don't understand that existence is about giving, not about taking. Because we're all doing what we're doing so that we can take as much as we can. And if that doesn't change, we're at the end of the extinction of our species. So sorry for preaching, but I really think we need a long-term view, and I know none of you will disagree with this. So, and the weird thing is that is the most rewarding work you can ever do, because if it's about me and my project, you'll run out of fuel very quickly. The only thing that sustains us is, yes, Ronald, go ahead. I can see you put up your hand numerous times. Go ahead.
I must say this, Rashad, before I grow silent again. I have invested in hundreds of students that have come and gone. But when I had lunch with these two boys, their mother was with me, with them. And that mother was the secret of those children's success. Her love and her care, her constant support. I've known her for years. That mother's love was there with those boys. And their father had said to me years ago, "Thank you for being with my sons when I couldn't be there." Thank you. That mother's love helped those children to be successful. And I've lived long enough to see the results of it. So thank you for speaking about sowing the seeds for those yet to come.
You're welcome. Tell me, someone else, how else your year was. Insights of the year. Hayat, what about you, Hayat?
Hi
I know
again, how are
you've had
you?
quite an interesting year. Yes, Hayat.
Yeah, from my side, since we did the Joy project, it was really and deeply I can say the most important thing happened to me, because I was how to say, maybe not lost in my thoughts, but I wanted to do many things, and the Joy project really was like a punch, when you give a punch for someone. So I was really and deeply connected with myself within, and I spent many times and most of my time with myself, and working inwardly. So after the month, I had the courage to move on and stop something I wouldn't do anymore. So, and what it was with easiness and joy. This is the it was like paradoxal, you want you don't want to do this, but you are happy to not do it.
Yeah.
It was really funny, and I could move on and close a chapter and open a new one. And now I'm investing into the unknown, and I'm listening and see to the sign to go further, and what my intuition, my soul tell me to do. And I don't know what is it till now, but it's good.
Yeah. I think I'm where you are, Hayat. That's exactly where I am. I don't know where it is, but I know what I don't want to be doing anymore. So we are in a similar situation like that. So
this is exactly what I'm feeling now. Yeah.
Although I know my soul will tell me when the time comes. So Hayat, I must say I'm so grateful for the internet, because if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't have met Hayat and Amin, two of the most incredible people that I've ever encountered, other than so many other people. But Hayat and Amin, you're like brother and sister of mine on a frequency, not in the world. Like, obviously you're Algerian and I come from my background, but when we have these conversations, they have this, like, the depth that is transmitted so fluidly. There's no misunderstanding. There's no, what do you mean? And the weird part is that English is not your first language. That's the funny thing. Yet I'm speaking, which is so beautiful. I'm speaking through English, and you guys are translating through French and then maybe some Arabic as well. But you get me so deeply, and I get you guys so deeply. And if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't have got to experience that. And of course, this means the same with everybody. So thank you for being part of my life, because it's really has meant a lot to me through the journey, as the people that I've met and you on this call. Hayat, do you want to say something? Your hand is up.
Yes, 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 thank you so much. And it can be, uh, how to say, yeah, it's not about language, of course.
Yeah.
You told me that once. It's not about language, it's about vibrations. And I'm deeply grateful for all your work with us and with me, of course, because I was another person, and now I'm able to say I'm near to my true self, because we of course I'm not knowing myself, my true self, deeply, of course, work in progress. But it's about frequencies and vibration. If I see you in my dream, so I mean, in my dreams I did many times, so we are connected for sure. It's not about uh, I'm in Algeria, Anissa in South Africa, and you in South Africa, Maria in England. So it's not about boundaries, or it's all about connectedness, I think. Thank you so much, Risha. Thank you.
Thank you, Hayat.
And for myself, Hayat is talking about a dream. My dream was to find somebody to help me 2 years ago, and it was very hard time for me. And Hayat told me, please, I mean, you have to talk to Rishad. And Rishad, you really give me opportunity to understand many new things for me. Even I'm musicians with a very big sensitivity, but you give me glass to see and to understand word in another way. And of course, like musicians, we have to do repetition, and this is your words. And it was very amazing. Of course, it was very hard time, even 6 months before. And you helped me six months before, but it was quicker because everything was there. Then you are really all right, and you have this ability to do very, how to deep analyze about myself. And it was amazing. And like Hayat, I tell you, thank you. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I didn't want this call to be anything about me, so please stop talking about me. I just want to say how grateful I am
So I'm
for all
going
of
to
you.
talk about Rishad, not about you.
No, yeah, I wanted to do this call because a few people are not in the best situations, and it's just good to be reminded of each other. Some people are, you know, some people are not listening to their souls, and sometimes it's difficult to be at a distance from those people, because I can't help but feel what those other people are feeling. And I'm not saying I have all the answers, but sometimes I can see what they're doing because I see patterns so clearly. And it takes a lot of energy to pull myself back. There have been people like you, Hayat, and everybody on this call who've allowed me that, saying, I see that, I welcome it, and other people that don't. And that's each person on their own. But I have this great need in me, and I've been seeing it recently, almost like I need to save everybody, and you can't, because who's to say I'm right in the first place? What do I know anyway? So, having said that, I think the best part of this journey has been all of you. So thank you for being part of my life, because through that a community formed, and whether we know it or not, we are all the same, exactly on the same frequency, and we have the same hunger and the same yearning. And what Hayat said about the dream, if you dream about me and I dream about you, and we connect on the dream side, it's more real to me than you saying, "Oh, Rishad, nice to meet you," or "Thank God I met you." Because I think the dream world and what our souls are, the human, the body element, the word element, these are secondary. Music is, you could say words is third. Music, poetry, sound, movies, art, that's second. And primary is the soul. So it's all the soul speaking through that. And then language, finally, you say, this lady said, this man said to him, "I love you." And she said to him, "What do you mean you love me?" And he got offended, saying, "But I said I loved you. Is that not enough?" And I laughed and I said, "Yeah, because it's bullshit, right?" Because saying the word "I love you," of course, it's not bullshit in that sense. People need to hear that because we need to hear that. But it's so third grade because you don't need to say, "I'm sorry, did I offend you?" How can you speak like that? If the souls know each other and you get offended, that's your damn problem. Because you know my soul and I know your soul. So we don't have to go, "Excuse me, do you mind if I open a window?" Or, "I hope I didn't offend you." Or, "Let's be overly polite." Why do you need this layer of false politeness when you can just be you and say, "I feel horrible today. I feel like crying. I'm in love." No need for censorship. There's no need for layers. Music, you see, in music, that's why thank you to all you musical people and all of you are. You don't have to explain yourself when Hayat grabs the violin and plays it, and when Amin is conducting. I mean, it's not the need to say, "I think I feel good today." It's so boring, the facial expressions, the gestures, the vibration that we can all feel, and we can feel bullshit. But the people that are putting the bullshit out, they think we can't feel it. But we're sitting there going, "Okay, keep talking your shit." And I look at it and I go, when are you going to give up the act? When are you going to take off the fucking mask and just come out and say you're afraid? That's why you're pretending to be something you're not. Excuse me, guys, I'll stop there. Maybe it's perceived. I don't mean it to anyone here because I love you all. It's just my reflections lately. Anyone else want to jump in and share thoughts, not about me, but your journey, your time, your reflections, and if you feel like contradicting me, by all means, feel free as well. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask someone to speak then. Maria?
Yeah, you've done nothing for me, so I have nothing to say about you.
See? The souls, you don't need to say anything.
Anyway, well, about this year. Well, Rishad, I feel about the Joy Project the same way Hayat feels. There was a point last year where I gave up on everything and I let things take me wherever they wanted to take, because at some point I got tired of fighting. And since then, things are better. But I am in this, maybe similar to how you feel, I'm in this kind of floating platform. I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going with the flow at the moment. But things are better. I feel better. With the Joy Project, I managed to work less, and now I want to work even less. Well, how am I going to do that? That's my problem now, because now,
That's your project. That's your project. I love it. Yeah.
I
How
got
to work less. Yes, I love it.
I got down quite a lot. Now I want more. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
that's my desire for this year.
Well, you remove everything that doesn't give you joy. I love it. One step at a time, but not the selfish joy. Let's not misunderstand each other. It's not me and my life. That's a very Western understanding. Not Western, but it's a naive, childish understanding. There is no happiness to the exclusion of everybody else on the planet, right? We know that. So that's important. Sorry, I'm a bit adamant about it because I think there seems to be a lot of thing out there. Oh, I have to take care of myself, but me, and yeah, okay, take care of you, but not the exclusion of everybody else. Hayat, yes.
Yeah, I just want to jump on what Maria said. It's the best feeling to go with the flow, not doing anything.
Well, me and you, we spoke.
And work less.
Absolutely, absolutely. and of course it doesn't neglect our responsibilities and the thing that we must do anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
of course, of
if
course.
we can work less, why not? So when I first decided, where I decided to say I don't know what I'm gonna do next year, and I thought, what am I going to tell people? And I said to people, well, what's your plans next year? And I said, I don't have any. uh, and the first time I said it, it felt so odd, because then they look at me like, because everybody else has got their 5-step plan and their 10-year plan and they all the rest of it. And I get this honest feedback back from people. People go, yeah, I wasn't so sure about my plans either. So because if you go out there and you say, oh, this is my plan, I'm going to become this, I'm going to become, then everybody has to put on that facade. I want to be this and I want to be that, and you start comparing notes. And I'm like, whatever comes my way, I'll take. But I'm not going out there fighting. I'm going to go out there and just be present with what the opportunity comes. It's not nihilism. It's not I don't give a shit. That must not be understood that way. I care deeply about myself and about the people around me. So it's also not that. These days words are so easily confused that people just oh, is that what you said? And then they sort of internalize it, that that's what you mean, because nobody's present. Nobody's listening to what's being said. They're listening it from their level of awareness. And if you've done the coaching thing, or you've been some of my calls, as all of you have, then we realize how little we listen, and how much we interpret based on our own level of awareness. So I think that's really important as well. Yeah, Hayat, you are, and I think quite a few are. Anybody else, please share whatever is your chance. This is a meetup for all of you. What about you, Alana? Alana, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm
Uh,
listening to everyone, and
Tell me,
I
Alana,
think
because I know you've also had an interesting year.
yeah, I had an absolutely horrible
Good.
last six,
At
seven
least you can be
months.
honest about it with us. You don't need to
Yeah,
pretend.
yeah, I did end up pretending though, because I reached that point where I just gave up. I never ever reached that point before, and I just completely gave up. I just did not care anymore about anything, because I became so confused and I was so hurt. And then I realized that a lot of things that I was hurt about really was my fault. So then I had
Oh,
to face me, the biggest.
wow. Look at you. Look at you. That's
Yeah,
big work there. That's powerful stuff, Alana. That's powerful.
I'm not, not saying that.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you for sharing that. Thank you for being, that's real. That's real. That's real honesty. Because I can say the same.
uh,
And with my clients, if they tell me that, then I know they're getting somewhere and you're going to thrive. You're going to thrive. When you take that responsibility on yourself and say, hold on, the buck stops with me, then you can do something
yeah,
about it, right?
yeah. That's where I think I started to. I stopped when I realized that I had things in me that I really needed to shed. I had things in me that I did not see. I can't believe I didn't see it. I, I don't know if it's I just sum it up as maybe lack of maturity. That's it. And you have to go through your journey. Like my father always tells me that, you have to respect the journey of a person and their maturing. And I started to respect that in myself, that I needed to learn certain things and face certain things. Don't get me wrong, I still hate the experiences that I had. I hate the experiences that I had because it hurt me. It broke me and it hurt me. I can laugh about it now, but I'm telling you, like for 6 months straight, I cried every single day. I can't remember any moment within that time where I was ever happy. I was completely broken. And I think I lost everything. And I'm very happy about that right now because I have a clean slate. I'm empty.
Good.
I don't know who this person is talking to you, Rashad. Honestly, all of you, I don't know who this person is talking to you. I'm
I like
completely
her.
empty.
I like her much more than Your Highness, your ambassador. Uh,
That shit
no, that
is
was
gone.
fine too. No, that's okay. It's okay. But yeah, okay, Alana. Wow. So you've had a fascinating year,
Yeah,
and as
yeah,
you go, as the years pass, you'll actually learn beautiful lessons from it, and hate will turn into awareness of the divine
yeah.
guiding
I hope
you
so.
through those times, and they'll see the whole point of life is this process called alchemy, is to transmute. The whole point is we're here to transmute pain into joy, sadness
Yeah,
into something light, all our difficulties into arriving at the divine state. So the whole point is to
yeah,
take the learnings, which you're doing, and then to throw away those patterns that no longer serve you. But realize that you could never throw off those patterns that no longer serve you unless they hurt. When they hurt so badly, that's when you get the lesson. When when there's no hurt, when there's no pain, then there's no lesson to be learned. So these things, and that's what Rumi says so beautifully, that you have to welcome your pains. You have to welcome those things. They all sent from the divine, all of it. So we love Christine.
mm,
Welcome, Christine. Christine is joining us as well. Thank you for joining us. Yeah,
right.
Alana. So yeah, go on, Alana.
Rishad, what you're saying is it makes perfect sense because even without me trying, I've made zero effort toward anything. I don't intend to anytime soon. But at least within here, right? I have made no effort for anything. And what you're saying, I found it to be a natural process. After pain and after disappointment and after facing my own self, a, a great um, cataclysmic demon. I did not know I was so horrible or I could be so hateful or violent. I have that in me. And I
Good,
found that
good to know
after
that.
all this, yeah, yeah. I found after all this surface, the only place I could go is in a place of peace. And I
Wow,
finally have that peace.
that's powerful, Alana. That's really powerful.
Yeah,
Thank you so much
yeah.
for sharing that. And it's so great to
You're
see
welcome.
how much you've grown. That's incredible.
Yeah,
That's the
thanks.
sign of growth,
I
by the way. What you described there is growth. Growth is not, oh, when I'm flying with the stars and my planets are this and, everything is working out. No, it's me grinding in the shit, right? And that's. I mean, you don't have to. Hayat, we have to acknowledge and face our dark side. But this is what it's all about, Hayat. Exactly that. Guys, welcome, Christine. Christine has been helping me, and I've been helping her. Let's put it that way, with a few things. And she came into my life through Mr. Mark, who's come on the call once. We call him the Japanese healing guy. Christine, are you with Mr. Mark still, or what?
I'm currently with Mock, yes. So
Okay, let him
apologize
come
for
say
my
hello.
my background noise. Mock is downstairs, so I'm actually
Okay,
sitting
okay,
upstairs from him. Yeah, I
okay. All right,
think
cool.
he's with a client at the moment. But
Okay,
thank you for having me.
welcome,
Appreciate
Christine.
it.
This is our family. I've been talking to Christine about all of you, and I wanted her to. Next, Anissa, how's your year been?
Wow. Like after everyone shares, I will say that, like Alana, I had to face myself even more harshly than I've ever before. I've had to learn more deeply what are those triggers. I had to be reminded of those mirrors that I had to face in all my relationship, be it a colleague, be it family members, be it my kids. A year of a lot of resentment. It was resentment for what I thought co-parenting would be. Resentment for, gosh, having to do it all on my own. And I had to snap out of it very quickly to realize, but hold on, I get to. And that for me was a rude awakening because I was not in gratitude. I was not giving myself grace. I was not giving others grace. the triggers were little things throughout the year. And I had to just let it be. I think I tried to, well, I assumed a conscious uncoupling would have been smooth sailing in the co-parenting realm, but it was exactly the opposite. And so what was a conscious uncoupling moved very quickly into sort of many unconscious exchanges, but mostly on my part, right? So I had to admit that thank you, Hayat, there's a lot of layers and it's not linear. There's no start and end of this journey, and that it's continuous. And I was actually, in the end, more grateful for what showed up in the way I responded, or rather reacted, Alana. I had to face the rage in me towards my kids. I had to face the rage in me towards others that were not doing things the way I thought it was going to pan out. And the shift came when I realized, okay, hold on. But I actually had a lot of grit in last year. If I had to define my year, it took a lot of grit and grace to try and overcome it. And only later in the year, when I did a reflection, right? Because we all sit and do those reflections at the end of the year. What's this year been? I was sad. I think I put a New Year's Eve message out there to everybody, but I was sobbing for days on end, thinking, what just happened in this year? Yes, there were lots of good things that happened. Let's not undermine the good things that happened. Lots of good things. But it felt like a struggle. Every single day in, week out, because it was an adjustment. It was an adjustment being on my own as a single mom of 3. And as I said, thinking that there was going to be this good exchange or shared exchange with responsibility, it didn't happen. Then also, where my kids are concerned, as much as we think you consciously have these exchanges with the parent or the grandparents, the kids are still suffering. They really are struggling. It's an identity shift and crisis for them. So there was a lot of guilt that I had to deal with. Like, yikes, this was me. This was my decision to go separate ways. And this is where my kids are now. And I had to deal with suicide attempts and self-harm attempts and taking on drugs. And from my eldest one, it was an insane year. I don't know how I still stood tall regardless of it all. But I do know one thing is that I have learned that this too shall pass. And because I've learned through Rashad, whether you like it or not, and don't want to be acknowledged or not, that we've learned to embrace the darkest, most difficult periods of our life more because there's a greater awareness. And I suppose that is why I am as transparent out there about my story in the social realms. In fact, this morning, a friend of mine said to me, I think you're a bit too much. I think you share too much about your journey. And I said, no, our stories are not ours. We can't be attached to our stories. It's for others to see that it is okay and not to be shamed into the fact that you're struggling or you can't do it all. So I want to just acknowledge the Zen family in whatever shape or form. We are in contact with one another. Thank you, Alana, for reaching out. Thank you for Ronald, Maria, and same with Hayat. I think those are the ones that I can say we've been in touch quite a bit. And I've been grateful because it's holding that space. I would rather rephrase it to say holding that sacred space. Even if we haven't spoken or seen one another in this realm of this type of call. So there I would like to recognize and acknowledge everyone because we can't go at it at our own. We do need community. So that's a bit of mine.
Thank you, Anissa. Maria?
It's just one thing that I want to, which is probably common. I felt last year that I had absolutely no influence on anything, no power over anything. I wanted to be able to help my family, friends, to do something about work. Nothing was coming my way. And it was this time, because you face all these challenges, but I realized that I had to show up, that the reason I had no influence and it was because I was hiding, and now I had to just face the music, as they say, and since I'm in the music business, so I had to face the music, and that's the hardest thing I've ever done. Just show up for everything, like for who I am in my heart, like who I am as a, in my knowledge of things, what influence I can have on, like, for example, I used to turn down work because I was scared to employ somebody to take it. And I had to change that because I realized how selfish it was. And it was fear that was keeping me down. So I think last year, and I think we are still on the same kind of wave. Everything that was not real was stripped down from everybody. It's like whether we wanted it or not, things started like either becoming really tight chains that we had to break, or they started dissolving by themselves. So I think, 2023 was a bit of a year like that. Nothing stayed hidden. Everything.
I like that. I like that very much. Everything that we're not is being stripped away. That's wonderful, because then the true self can emerge in our true soul's expression. That's beautiful. Is that what you mean, Maria?
Yeah, but I had no choice.
You had no choice. Same with me.
I
Same with
had
me.
no choice. It
No
wasn't
choice.
like it came to a point that I realized, no, I couldn't say, oh yeah, well, things are changed. No, nothing. I had to go all the way, otherwise, and still going. I'm just saying, this year, for some reason, I've realized that I became so small in my. I realized that I have made myself, and that somehow I had to be not big, but I had to be me. I had to break out of all these extra layers of whatever was not real, but I had no choice. It happened anyway. I just listened to that call, and okay, I had the courage to do a few things more, and still, but I think that's what happened last year for many people. We couldn't stay hidden anymore. Yeah, that's my.
Thank you, Sergio. Would you like to share something about your year? Anything you'd like to share? I love listening to you talk, even when you talk off your cuff. Go for it. Just share whatever.
Very
Even
well
if it's a joke. I
put.
just like hearing your voice, Sergio.
Thank you very much. Very well put. There was a couple of points. I mean, it was like what Maria was saying, that about having no choice. I mean, we do have a choice. I think we have a choice that we could crash ourselves if we wanted to. We could, and that's it. I mean, it ties in.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah.
You know, I'd like to link that back to what I've been doing. A lot of stuff has been with me, a lot of mindfulness, but really, I don't know if it's a particularly male thing, but we always want to say, "Come, I'm going to do mindfulness. I'm going to do mindfulness until it makes me kind of stuff, you know. Oh no, none of this fluffy stuff. I'm just going to go hardcore mindfulness." And it was a weird thing. I mean, I was having what I would term to be extreme negativity. I mean, I get up every morning and I go to my I say my prayer mat, and I sit there, and the world and his wife. I mean, everything, and much like Alana was saying, I mean, I was in floods of tears, and this is a revelation now. Maria was not even aware of this, but I mean, it's constant, and it was constant hard work, and I was thinking I'm going to absolutely lose my mind, and it was awful, absolutely awful. And then I came to a revelation. I came to a point when I thought, that's it. Live in that negativity, as it were. Live in it, not indulge in it, but just, rather than fear to kind of jump into it, just accept it. And it was an amazing revelation. It just, all of a sudden, this immense load on my shoulders, as it were, my whole being, everything just lifted and just dissolved away. And it was an incredible, how can I say, it was this incredible rush. It was this incredible, but then look at one would call it adrenaline rush. I don't know what it is. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And I have a very different, different attitude towards negative things, to things that go bad. It's almost like, oh right, there you are. Oh, there you are. Oh,
Right.
I thought it was waiting for you to pop up. Oh, there you are. And it was like, come on in, sit down. Let's talk about this. And it's incredible. No, it's I loved it. It's doesn't sound particularly woo positive, but
this for a while, and you're living it rather than a conceptual understanding. And so thank you for sharing that. It is that, definitely, because this avoidance and then reframing and reterming it into something like, no, that's not pain. Actually, that's quite enjoyable. And almost like diverting and almost putting a very intelligent slant on it, which just simply forms another layer that you're going to have to dig up with a fucking shovel at the back one day, when it all comes shouting back at you because you put layers on it, labels on it, and then deflected it onto someone else or something else, right? But when you look at it squarely in the face and say, this is it. I mean, the whole theme for me has been, take on the responsibility. And the question that everybody hates to ask, it's the only question that I will ask you, and you can hate me for it, but how did I create this? How did I create this? And you answer that authentically, instead of bullshitting yourself with some cushy terms. And you say, I did this and I will undo this. But the moment you say someone else did this, then you're saying someone else is responsible for my happiness. Nobody's responsible for your happiness, and nobody's responsible for your misery. So the situation that you're in is yours. And now, it doesn't mean your situation is challenging. You don't have to go write your top 10 list of things of, I broke my finger and my girlfriend left me, and a rat bit my ass. You don't have to go and tell the world all about that. That's not what it's about, right? But it's about you just looking in and examining it and going. You say, okay, I went through all of these things, and I don't give them all the credence and go, let's name it, it's this and it's that, and let's see how we can, you can learn from it, no doubt. But it's this energetic, if you can connect to the energetic, and the music people will understand that. If you're playing the violin, Hayat can relate, and I mean, well, all of you can relate. You all heard the violin. You're hearing the violin, and then all of a sudden, you don't know why, but that it's just not sounding right. Something is just not. Okay, Christine, thanks for joining. You need to go. Christine needs to go, but thanks for jumping in. But when something doesn't feel right, see you, Christine. Bye. When something's not feeling right in that instrument, you know it. You don't have to name it. You don't have to say, in fact, I don't think there's a name for it when you're not playing it smoothly. But you did that. You got the instrument out of alignment because you're out of alignment. So you don't go around naming it and changing it and calling the violin doctor. You sit down. Thank you. I'm making this shit up because I've never played the violin in my life. I'm only using the rough analogy. I've never touched a violin. And people say, how dare you talk about a violin? Never used one. But you'll allow me because, I'm a bit crazy. But so you're playing that and you're like, what's it called? Who cares what it's called?
It's not sounding right. Well, what's the problem? You're the problem, right? I'm my own doctor. Exactly. Thank you. I continue from my conversation because I'm making up shit, but maybe you can. Hayat, tell me. Tell me in the language.
This is it. No more words.
Yeah. So when you're either playing the piano or conducting, or you're playing the whatever instrument, you are the instrument player. You can't blame your instrument. A bad carpenter blames its tools, right? So you don't blame, but at the same time, you don't have to make it sound like something so beautiful about it. I think it had nothing to do with my violin. I will call it the sweet smell of. No, forget about it. It's out of alignment. Don't name it. Don't, because that's the whole point with the mind. The mind likes to latch on to labels and naming it and then putting it into a box. You're not getting rid of it. You're referring it to it. So what are you doing? You're still playing shitty violin. Nobody wants to listen to your shit. And you've got a whole bunch of labels that you've created. These are the reasons why my violin is terrible. Nobody cares. Sit down, process your shit, and say, if I'm playing the bad violin, I will fix it. But I have to unlearn this. Okay, guys, am I making sense, or am I becoming too passionate and I'm missing the point? Tell me. I can shut up. Okay. So yes, Hayat. Go
It's
ahead.
right. It's
Yes,
completely
you
right.
said it. Yeah, you said it
Yes, it's
exactly,
completely
perfectly.
right.
Yeah.
Put the
We
music.
have to tune. We have to tune in the right frequency.
Oh
Frequency
yes, yeah.
to align with the right frequency.
You know what? Thank you, Hayat. You're the conductor, right? So you see a person in the back there, you're listening, it's all going smoothly, and there's one person over there. Do you blame them? Or how does that work? Tell me in the conducting sense. Now we're changing the topic slightly, but how do you relate to this as a conductor or of music? Tell me your thought.
Of course, I don't have to blame nobody because it's not the goal, but just to help to the musician player to play together and to play the right way, and to play always together. This is important. I have just to do coordination between them, but of course they have to know their scores, and they playing with instruments like you said. If you are violinist, it's not possible for me to play trumpet because I'm not a trumpet. Even I'm a musician, but I don't know how to play trumpet. That's it. Then you're right.
Yeah, yeah. Here's a question that I may have asked you, I may have not. Can you, as the conductor, influence or somehow be responsible for how the orchestra is playing?
Yes, of course. This is the responsibility also of the conductor, if to influence the musicians how they play, to put the right energy in the right moment of the music. Even musicians sometimes are very very tired, but the conductor have to give them some power and to help them to play and to be happy to do this, even if they are a little bit tired. Of course, this
You
is a
know,
responsibility of the conductor. Then of course I have to influence the musicians.
You know, what you do, is an exact explanation of what I'm trying to get at. You don't sit there and going, you see your finger on the small violin, and then you stop the whole orchestra to go and tell someone why their finger. You're putting an energy out there, right? You can't, while an orchestra is playing and the audience is there, go, you at the back there, the trombone, you got your finger on the wrong thing, right? You're not using words, you're not using labels, you're not calling it this, you're not calling it that. You're changing almost, and that's why people like Karajan, and I call you Karajan. By the way, I called Amin Karajan, and if you don't know who Karajan is, so good. But for me, Amin is the incarnation of Karajan, and you did me so proud because where Amin was and where Amin got to, and Amin can still go down again. But I heard from Hayat recently, Amin, you got awarded what? Please share it with us as a group because I'm so proud of you.
It's Knight of Order of Art and Letters from French Ministry of Culture.
Of and letters from
From French Ministry of Culture.
French Ministry of Culture.
Yes,
Well,
Knight of Order of Arts and Letters.
wow. I'm so proud of you, of Hayat, of all of you.
Thank
Even
you,
if you,
everybody. Thank you.
the fact that you got accredited in the world means much less to me Then I know the Amin when we had that first call and you were there having all that shit in Algeria. And I said, Amin, you're Karajan. What the fuck are you doing playing in Algeria to some small little orchestra? You should be playing on the biggest stages in the world. And Amin said, I don't know who this guy is, but I like him. And now he gets awarded. So was I right or was I right, Amin?
Yes, completely, completely. So that way I told you many, many thanks, because it was very hard time for me 2 years ago. Really, really very, very bad times. But now, alhamdulillah, it's much better. And even sometimes, of course, it goes down like 6 months before, but everything is okay. Just to trust in life. Life is happening in our favor. And of course, we have to do exercises like musicians, repetition, repetition. And maybe I understand easier this concept of repetition, because we as musicians, Hayat knows exactly this. If you have to work a small part of your violin, I'm also a violin player, I have to repeat even 3 weeks to 1 month to have the connection in your mind to be easy for you to play. And I discovered that I have to do the same for working of our self, our soul. This is important, and it's really, really, it works when we do it every day. Even it's difficult, even we don't want. I think that's sometimes, of course, I give up, but not more than 2 or 3 days. I have to go back to work and to do repetition, and it works, and that's it.
That's so important. I mean, thank you so much for sharing that. And
Welcome.
that's what daily practices, because I say, if you can't keep the word to yourself and you're bullshitting everybody else that I'm this and I'm that, no, if you're going to say something you're going to do to yourself, with yourself, you do that. If you say no more bullshit within, I'm going to be honest with myself, and you keep your word to it, and you say, I'm going to do this practice, I'm going to do this meditation, the Joy Project, whatever it is that you're doing. Joy Project is ended, so you can't do that. But all the videos are there if you want to. But if you make it your business on a daily basis, I will choose joy on every moment. And the only thing you're responsible for, as I was telling a client this morning, is this moment. This is your only responsibility, because the ego mind says, well, I can't give my word what's going to happen in the next 40 days. Nobody's asking for that. Just this moment, you say, this moment, I choose to be honest with myself. I take responsibility, and I will follow my soul no matter what at this moment. And then the next moment comes up and you do the thing against your soul, you forgive yourself and you return back. But the more you bullshit yourself and put layers upon it and say, no, it's not that actually. People do that, right? Even in relationships. But how could you do that? No, 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 I didn't do that. You didn't understand. I meant to do that. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself, and you can see right through yourself. And then and you can't change if there's no internal thing. Just one last point about with what we're talking about, Hayat, about the violin, and with Amin as well. Whatever violin you've gotten, instead of you saying, I need to send it to this person, I need to send it to that person, you say, this is the violin I've got. That's your life. How do I play this instrument to make the music that my soul wants to make? I don't go keep on changing violins. I don't keep on blaming the violins. I don't blame the audience, because we say, well, these people don't know what good music is. They don't know I'm making very good music. No, maybe you don't make good music. Okay, so make the violin. In other words, with the life that you have, how do you make your soul come alive? It's not about changing life. It's not about changing terms. It's not about going somewhere or doing something. If life pushes you that way, like Maria said so beautifully, is that we had no choice. We had to evolve. So you evolve, but always holding on to your soul and that authentic voice inwardly. And if you're not listening to your soul and you put so many layers of bullshit around it, it's going to catch up to you. Okay, because the soul gets louder and it will tell you, I'm tired of this bullshit. Okay, and then it will give you what we call pain, Alana, those things that you hate. Those are your messengers for you to evolve, because ultimately your soul wants the highest expression, and you're to express the divine, nothing else. You're here to express pure love, pure joy, and pure service to humanity. It's not about the personal me and my life. Alana, go ahead, and then we'll
Yeah.
wind it up. Left as well. Yeah.
Rashad, about that, I've always felt that desire to serve and that love for humanity and love for doing good things and so on. But I just have a question because I don't know the answer to it. I don't know if I'm going to ask the right question either. But I really experienced hatred last year. I mean, from me. I hated certain things that was done to me, and I try all sorts of ways to tell myself, no, this is take responsibility for this, that, or the other. Is there a point where we can reasonably say, no, that was not me. I hate that was done. I have the right to hate that. You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, I know, I get you. So, in order to answer that, it requires a few questions to ask first before that. What is my definition of hate? Okay. What is my
Uh-huh.
definition of hate? Hate is I'm resisting the experience. Yes, whatever that experience was, I'm unhappy with it because it's out of alignment with my expectations. So if we look at it,
Okay.
we're looking at hate is I resist certain situations and people because it's out of
Mhm.
alignment with what I expected situations and people to react. And that's what the definition of hate is. Is that fair enough?
Um, some yes, it's good, but I I'll tell you something. I experience deliberate provocation, and
Yeah, but
that is a
hold on. Before you explain it, I'd like you to just pause on what I'm saying and just pause for a second. Whatever
uh-huh.
the situation, provocation, someone stabbed you in the foot, the building caught on fire, you're dying next month, the worst tragedy you can imagine. Okay? All
Yeah,
of them, all encompassing them. Two things. Number one is that I have an expectation of how things should be, number one, and they weren't in alignment with that. So, in other words, I didn't expect someone to put a knife through my foot, but they did. Okay, that is my expectation that nobody should put the knife through. The second part is that I resisted that. Right? You didn't welcome that
Mhm.
because
No,
if you took your knife and stabbed it into my foot, would I enjoy that? No. So that's resistance, and that's I hate the way that feels. That's hate. Right? In my
yeah,
definition, if you've got another term, it's fine, but that's how I broadly define it. Now, let me ask you a question. If you are from the divine and life was always working in your favor, why did this happen for you?
that's where I'm at right now, Richard.
So then, how can you hate something that was sent from the divine as a teacher to take you to the highest expression of yourself?
Gotcha.
We have a saying in the Sufis, we say, everywhere you turn, there is the face of God. Everywhere. In the
Yeah,
enemy, in the murderer, in the person that stabbed you in the back, there's the face of God. And it's very
yeah.
difficult because the ego mind goes, yeah, I can love the roses and the beautiful smell of the lavender through there, but the shit coming out of the toilet, I can't love. Right? And that is it requires a step within your higher level of awareness. And I'll be happy to take you through that. Anissa, you can speak, and then we're going to have to end it off. I don't want to take up too much of people's time. Anissa, go.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, Alana, I can relate to a lot of what you are saying,
I realize.
but what I realized is that when I started to see everyone as a soul, I think that's what Richard is also maybe referencing. And I realized as a soul, we are all at different stages, but we are all pure from the divine. That's when I was able to make my shift last year. And that was when I was able to say, hold on, I have to see you at the soul level. Or I have to see anybody encountering or coming across paths with me is at the soul level. That's all I wanted to say. That
Yeah.
made it easier
Thank,
for me, the transition.
yes. Thank you, Anissa. I think I actually know about that from before all of these things. And I think that was one practice that helped me to actually survive the whole experience. But as you can see, I'm still working through things inside of me.
And you're doing amazing, Anna, and all of you are doing
I
amazing.
think so.
Remember,
I think so.
and the more you
I agree.
encourage yourself, the deeper you can go within yourself. All of you are
Yeah.
doing spectacularly, as am I. And so we are here together to support each other. Thank you, Ashfaq. We're all ending off right now anyway. It was a lovely pleasure to see all of you. Have an amazing year, and I shall see you all. We'll do another one very soon as well. I love you all very much.
Love you all and
Bye.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Love
Bye,
you all.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Rashad, Anissa, Uncle Ronald,
Welcome.
Bye.
Sergio, Wyatt. Anyone
Bye.
else
Bye.
Bye,
who's there
everyone.
I'm not
Bye.
seeing.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.